The channel is all about numismatic and rare coins you know as old as gold, and please don't spend these coins and worth millions of dollars. Let's start this. What if I told you that an ordinary-looking quarter sitting in your pocket could be worth $685,000? Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1965 no-mint marked George Washington silver quarter. A coin so rare, so valuable that collectors would pay a fortune to own it. But here's the catch. Most people don't even realize they have one dot, and if you don't check your quarters after watching this video, you might just spend a small fortune on a cup of coffee. Chuckles, stick with me because I'm about to show you how to identify this million-dollar mistake, why this coin is so rare, and most importantly, how you can turn a tiny piece of metal into life-changing wealth. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Imagine this, you're going through an old drawer, a forgotten piggy bank, or maybe you just got change from a gas station, and there it is, a 1965 quarter. Looks just like any other quarter, right? But hidden within this small, unassuming coin is a shocking minting error, one that makes it worth more than most cars, even some houses. So, what makes this quarter so special? Here's the fascinating truth. In 1965, the U.S. Mint was transitioning from silver to copper-nickel quarters to cut costs. But a tiny handful of 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on the old 90% silver Planchets. And just like that, a historical accident created one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in American history. Could you be holding one right now? Pause for dramatic effect. How do I know if I have the right one? No mint mark, that means it wasn't made in Denver or San Francisco. Weight, a regular 1965 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but a rare silver one weighs 6.25 grams. The edge test, a normal quarter has a copper-colored ring around the edge. The silver version? Pure, clean silver. And if you find one, congratulations. Because the last known auction sale of this coin fetched an astonishing $685,000. Yes, that's nearly $700,000 for a single quarter. Now, imagine finding 2 or 3 of them, but here's where it gets even crazier. Most people never check their spare change. And by the time they do, it's too late. As more collectors hunt for this coin, the chances of finding one in circulation shrink by the day. And here's the real kicker. With coin values surging in 2025, experts predict this rare quarter could cross the $1 million mark at auction. Yes, $1 million for a single 25-cent coin. So, are you going to let this opportunity slip through your fingers? Or are you going to grab your wallet and start checking right now? Check your pockets, old jars, and coin collections. You might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Hit that like button if you love the thrill of discovering hidden treasures. Subscribe because I'll be revealing even more ultra-valuable coins that could be hiding in plain sight. Who knows? Your next coin could be the key to your dream life. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your quarters. What if I told you that a single quarter, just 25 cents, could be worth $785,000? Yes, that's nearly $750,000 hiding in plain sight. Somewhere out there, in an old coin jar, a forgotten piggy bank, or tucked between your couch cushions. A 1966 no-mint marked George Washington silver quarter could be waiting for you to discover it. But here's the catch, most people will spend theirs without even realizing it. Could you be holding one right now? Stay with me because I'm about to show you exactly how to identify this ultra-rare coin, why it's so valuable, and how you could turn loose change into life-changing wealth. Or, you could just keep using it to buy gum. Picture this, you're going through your old coin collection, rolling up spare change, or maybe you just got quarters as change from a store. And there it is, a 1966 quarter. It looks like any other coin, right? But this particular one could be your golden ticket. See, in 1966, the U.S. Mint was supposed to have completely stopped making quarters from 90% silver. Instead, they transitioned to a cheaper copper-nickel composition. But mistakes happen. And somehow, a tiny handful of 1966 quarters were struck on silver Planchets, by accident. This was never meant to happen. And that's exactly why these coins are so rare, valuable, and highly sought after by collectors. Could you be one of the lucky few holding this historical mistake? Well, let's find out. First, how do you know if your 1966 quarter is the real deal? No mint mark? Unlike some quarters, this one will have no letter under the year. Weight, a standard 1966 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but a rare silver one weighs 6.25 grams. The edge test, look at the rim. A regular quarter has a copper-colored ring around the edge. But the silver version? Pure silver with no color variations. Now, if you find one, get ready to celebrate. Because the last recorded auction sale of this coin, a jaw-dropping $785,000, that's enough to buy a luxury car, a dream home, or even retire early. But here's where things get even crazier. Every day, thousands of people handle change without checking. That means these ultra-rare silver quarters are disappearing fast, being spent, lost, or sitting forgotten in someone's attic. And with coin values skyrocketing in 2025, experts believe this rare quarter could soon cross the $1 million mark at auction. Imagine this, you could have one in your pocket, right now, and not even know it. Would you really want to lose out on millions just because you didn't check? Now, I need you to do 3 things. Go check your pockets, old coin jars, and collections. You could be sitting on a fortune. Hit that like button if you love uncovering hidden treasures. Subscribe because I'm about to reveal even more rare coins worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. Who knows? Your next quarter could change your life, so what are you waiting for? Go check your change. What if I told you that a single quarter, just 25 cents, could be worth $785,000? Yes, that's nearly $750,000 hiding in plain sight. Somewhere out there, in an old coin jar, a forgotten piggy bank, or tucked between your couch cushions. A 1966 no-mint Mark George Washington silver quarter could be waiting for you to discover it. But here's the catch, most people will spend theirs without even realizing it. Could you be holding one right now? Stay with me because I'm about to show you exactly how to identify this ultra-rare coin, why it's so valuable, and how you could turn loose change into life-changing wealth. Or, you could just keep using it to buy gum. Chuckles, picture this, you're going through your old coin collection, rolling up spare change, or maybe you just got quarters as change from a store. And there it is, a 1966 quarter. It looks like any other coin, right? But this particular one could be your golden ticket. See, in 1966, the US Mint was supposed to have completely stopped making quarters from 90% silver. Instead, they transitioned to a cheaper copper-nickel composition. But mistakes happen. And somehow, a tiny handful of 1966 quarters were struck on silver planchets, by accident. This was never meant to happen. And that's exactly why these coins are so rare, valuable, and highly sought after by collectors. Could you be one of the lucky few holding this historical mistake? First, how do you know if your 1966 quarter is the real deal? No mint mark? Unlike some quarters, this one will have no letter. Under the year, weight, a standard 1966 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but a rare silver one weighs 6.25 grams. The edge test, look at the rim. A regular quarter has a copper-colored ring around the edge. But the silver version? Pure silver with no color variations. Now, if you find one, get ready to celebrate. Because the last recorded auction sale of this coin, a jaw-dropping $785,000, that's enough to buy a luxury car, a dream home, or even retire early. But here's where things get even crazier. Every day, thousands of people handle change without checking. That means these ultra-rare silver quarters are disappearing fast, being spent, lost, or sitting forgotten in someone's attic. And with coin values skyrocketing in 2025, experts believe this rare quarter could soon cross the $1 million mark at auction. Imagine this, you could have one in your pocket, right now, and not even know it. Would you really want to lose out on millions just because you didn't check? Now, I need you to do 3 things. Go check your pockets, old coin jars, and collections. You could be sitting on a fortune. Hit that like button if you love uncovering hidden treasures. Subscribe because I'm about to reveal even more rare coins worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. Who knows? Your next quarter could change your life, so what are you waiting for? Go check your change. Imagine holding a simple, everyday quarter in your hand. Now, what if I told you that one of these could be worth a staggering $745,000? Sounds like a fantasy, right? But it's absolutely real. And the best part? You could have one of these in your pocket, hidden among your spare change, completely unaware that you're holding a $1 million treasure. But here's the catch. Most people never realize they own one until it's too late. What makes this quarter so special? How can you tell if you have one? And more importantly, How can you cash in on this life-changing jackpot? Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, you might just discover the key to unlocking a hidden fortune. The intriguing story behind the 1982 P quarter. 1982 was a chaotic year for the U.S. Mint. Due to a major recession, budget cuts, and a shift in coin production, the U.S. Mint stopped producing mint sets. That means collectors missed out on these coins, making them much rarer today. But here's where things get really interesting. Among the millions of quarters minted that year, a small handful were struck with a critical error, a mistake so rare that it skyrocketed their value into the six-figure range. And that's where the 1982 P Washington quarter becomes an absolute goldmine. Now, before you go flipping over every quarter you own, let's talk about what makes this coin worth an absolute fortune. What makes this quarter worth $745,000? Not every 1982 P quarter is valuable. But if you find one with these rare errors, congratulations, you've hit the jackpot. Missing mint mark error. While Philadelphia quarters typically have a P mint mark, some were accidentally struck without one, making them extremely rare. Double die error. Some of these coins have noticeable doubling on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. This is a clear sign that the coin is worth a fortune. Silver Planchet error. Even though the U.S. Mint had stopped producing silver quarters by this time, a small number were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets. If your quarter is silver, you might be holding a small fortune. And here's the real kicker. If you find one of these quarters in perfect condition, it could fetch up to $745,000 at auction. But wait, how do you know if your quarter is valuable? And more importantly, how can you sell it for top dollar? How to find and sell your $745,000 quarter. All right, let's get down to business. If you want to cash in, here's what you need to do, step by step. Check your change. Start with your old coin jar, piggy bank, or even your couch cushions. These quarters have been circulating for over 40 years, and you never know where one might be hiding. Inspect with a magnifying glass. Look for missing mint marks, doubling, or silver edges. If you're unsure, take it to a coin expert or use a digital scale. Silver quarters weigh slightly more than regular ones. Get it graded. If you think you have a valuable quarter, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. A high-grade coin can turn a $10,000 coin into a $745,000 masterpiece. Sell to the right buyer. Auctions like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or even eBay can help you get top dollar for your rare coin. Now, here's the most important question. What if you've been unknowingly sitting on a small fortune? Are you going to let it slip through your fingers? Or take action today? Final call to action. Inspire and urge action. The opportunity is real. The money is real. And the time to check is now. So go check your quarters. Because one small coin could change your life forever. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be sitting on a hidden treasure. What if I told you that a simple 1983 quarter, yes, one that might be lying in your pocket right now, could be worth an astonishing $785,000? Sounds unbelievable, right? But here's the shocking truth. These rare coins exist, and some lucky people have already cashed in on them. The real question is, could you be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to find one of these rare quarters and how to turn it into life-changing money. The unexpected fortune hidden in your pocket year was 1983. The economy was shifting, technology was evolving, and most people were just trying to make ends meet. But something incredible happened at the Philadelphia Mint. A mistake. A costly, rare, once-in-a-lifetime mistake. A small number of Washington quarters were struck with a rare and valuable minting error, making them some of the most sought-after coins in the world today. Now, before you start frantically flipping over every quarter you own, let's talk about exactly what makes this coin worth nearly $800,000. Why is this quarter worth $785,000? Not every 1983 P quarter is valuable. But if you find one with these key features, you might just be holding a millionaire maker in your hands. Silver Planchet error: the U.S. Mint stopped making silver quarters in 1964, but a few 1983 P quarters were accidentally struck on old silver planchets from previous years. If your quarter is silver instead of copper nickel, you've hit the jackpot. Double die error: look for double or blurry lettering on words like liberty and in God we trust. This doubling effect increases value dramatically. Off-center strike: some quarters from 1983 were struck off-center, making them rare collector's items. The more dramatic the shift, the higher the value. Full drum lines on the eagle, on the back of the coin. Check the drum of the eagle. A well-defined, fully visible drum is extremely rare for this year, making it highly valuable. Now, here's the kicker. If your 1983 P quarter has all of these features and is in top condition, it could sell for a jaw-dropping $785,000 at auction. But how do you know if your quarter is worth big money? And more importantly, where can you sell it for the highest price? How to find and sell your $785,000 quarter, alright? Let's get to the good part. How you can find and cash in on one of these rare quarters. Check your loose change, dig through your old coins, piggy banks, and even that junk drawer in your kitchen. These quarters are still circulating today, meaning one could be hiding in plain sight. Do the magnet test. Regular quarters contain copper and won't stick to a magnet. But if your 1983 P quarter is made of silver, it will fail the magnet test, confirming its value. Get it weighed. A normal 1983 P quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. A silver planchet error will weigh slightly more. If your coin is heavier than normal, you might have something rare. Professional coin grading: if you suspect your quarter is valuable, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. The better the condition, the higher the price it will fetch at auction. Sell to the right buyer. Don't rush to sell it at a pawn shop. Instead, auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stax Bauer specialize in rare coins and will help you get the highest price. But here's the biggest mistake people make. They sell their valuable quarters for pennies without even knowing their worth. Are you going to let that happen to you? Final call to action. Inspire, motivate, and urge action. Imagine what you could do with $785,000. Pay off your house, travel the world, or retire early. This isn't just about a quarter. It's about changing your life. The opportunity is real. The money is real. And the time to check is now. So go check your quarters, because one small coin could be your ticket to financial freedom. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more coin collecting secrets, and share this with someone who might be sitting on a fortune. What if I told you that a simple, everyday quarter, one you might have in your pocket right now, could be worth an astonishing $715,000? Yes, you heard that right. $750,000 for a single coin. The question is, do you have it? Or have you unknowingly spent a small fortune on a cup of coffee? Most people don't realize they've been sitting on life-changing money until it's too late. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what makes this rare 1990 Washington quarter so valuable, how you can spot one, and most importantly, how to sell it for top dollar. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could turn your spare change into a six-figure payday. To understand why this quarter is worth a fortune, we need to go back to the year 1990. The Denver Mint was in full swing, producing millions of Washington quarters. But in the chaos of mass production, a huge mistake slipped through the cracks. A mistake that would make some of these coins worth millions decades later. And here's where things get interesting. Now, before you go running to your piggy bank like a treasure hunter, let's talk about what makes this coin so incredibly valuable. Not every 1990 D quarter is valuable. In fact, most are only worth, well, 25 cents. But if you find one with these rare errors, your financial future could change overnight. Silver Planchet error: by 1990, US quarters were no longer made of silver. But a small number were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from the past. If your quarter has a silver sheen and weighs 6.25 grams instead of 5.67 grams, jackpot. Slot machine double die obverse, DDO. Some of these rare quarters show noticeable doubling in the words liberty and in God we trust. If the letters look slightly blurred or doubled, your coin could be worth a small fortune. Missing mint mark error. While most Denver minted quarters have a clear D mark, some were struck without a mint mark at all, making them highly sought after. And here's the crazy part. If you find a 1990 D quarter with all of these errors in mint condition, it could be worth up to $715,000 at auction. But how do you know if your quarter is valuable? And what's the best way to sell it for the highest price? How to find and sell your $715,000 quarter, all right? Let's get down to business. If you want to cash in, here's exactly what you need to do, step by step. Check your quarters, start digging through your old coin jars, wallets, or even your grandparents' coin collections. Rare quarters can be anywhere, including your everyday pocket change. Weigh your quarter, use a digital scale to check if your coin weighs 6.25 grams instead of the standard 5.67 grams. A heavier quarter could mean it's struck on a silver planchet. Inspect for errors, use a magnifying glass or a coin microscope to look for doubling in the lettering, a missing mint mark, or any odd characteristics. Get it graded. If you think you've found a valuable quarter, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. A higher grade means a higher payday. Sell to the right buyer. Don't rush to sell it at a local pawn shop. Instead, auction it through Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or a trusted online coin dealer. The right buyer will pay top dollar for your rare find. Now, here's the big question. What if you've been unknowingly holding on to a $715,000 quarter all these years? Will you cash in on it, or let it slip through your fingers? Final call to action. Inspire and urge action. The opportunity is real. The money is real. And the time to check is now. Don't be the person who realizes too late that they gave away a fortune. Go check your quarters today, because one small coin could change your life forever. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Imagine this. You're holding a simple quarter in your hand, something you've used 1,000 times for parking meters, vending machines, or just lying forgotten in a coin jar. But what if I told you that one rare 1993 D quarter is worth an astonishing $733,000 at auction? Yes, you heard that right. Over $750,000 for a single 25-cent piece. And the craziest part? Could be hiding in your pocket change right now. What makes this quarter so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And more importantly, how can you sell it for top dollar? Stay with me, because what you learn in the next 10 minutes could change your financial future forever. The secret behind the 1993 D quarter's insane value. 1993 was a year of transition for the U.S. Mint. As technology advanced, so did the production process for coins. But as history has shown us, whenever change happens, mistakes follow. And mistakes in coin minting, well, that's where fortunes are made. Among the millions of 1993 D Washington quarters, a tiny handful were struck with a once-in-a-lifetime error. A minting mistake that transformed these coins from pocket change into six-figure jackpots. And here's where it gets really exciting. Because unless you know exactly what to look for, you might never realize that a fortune is sitting in your hands. How to identify the $733,000 1993 D quarter? So, what makes these rare 1993 D quarters worth a fortune? Here are the 3 key errors that could make your coin valuable. Silver planchet error. By 1993, the U.S. Mint had stopped making silver quarters, or at least, they were supposed to. But a small number of 1993 D quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from previous years. If your 1993 D quarter has a silver shine and weighs 6.25 grams instead of 5.67 grams, you might be looking at a fortune. Double die obverse, DDO, error. Some 1993 D quarters were struck with a double die, causing noticeable doubling on words like liberty and in God we trust. If you see this doubling, your quarter could be worth serious money. Off-center strike. A rare few 1993 D quarters were struck off-center, creating a misalignment that makes them unique. The greater the misalignment, the higher the value. And here's the real kicker. If your quarter has a combination of these errors and is in pristine condition, it could be worth up to $733,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. $250,000 for a quarter. But how do you know if your coin is one of these rare gems? How to find and sell your $733,000 quarter, right? Let's get serious. If you want to turn your 1993 D quarter into a life-changing payday, here's exactly what you need to do. Check your change, dig through your old coin jar, car cup holders, and even between your couch cushions. Rare quarters hide in plain sight. Inspect your coin, use a magnifying glass to check for the missing mint mark, doubling, or off-center strikes. And if your quarter has a silver edge instead of a copper one, jackpot. Weigh your coin. A regular 1993 D quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours weighs 6.25 grams, it was struck on a silver planchet, meaning it's extremely rare. Get it authenticated. If you think you've found a valuable quarter, send it to PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, for official grading. A higher grade means higher value. Sell to the right buyer. Don't settle for a local pawn shop. Instead, list your coin on heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, or even high-end numismatic dealers to get the highest payout. And here's the million-dollar question. Could you be holding one of these rare quarters without even knowing it? The clock is ticking, and every day, more of these coins get lost, spent, or forgotten. Are you going to let your fortune slip through your fingers? Or are you going to take action today? Final call to action. Inspire and urge action. Listen, this isn't just another get-rich-quick scheme. This is real money, real history, and a real opportunity to change your life. So go check your quarters, because that small, unassuming coin could be your ticket to financial freedom. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be sitting on a hidden fortune. Now, go find that treasure before it's too late. Imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, just another ordinary day, and suddenly, you notice something different. A 1993 P. Washington quarter looks just like any other, right? But what if I told you that one rare variation of this coin is worth an astonishing $731,000? Yes, you heard that right. Over $750,000 for a single quarter. And guess what? It could be sitting in your change jar right now. Now, before you start dumping out your piggy bank and flipping through your laundry money, hold on. Not every 1993 P quarter is valuable. But a rare error on a select few has made them some of the most sought-after coins in history. So, how can you tell if you have the right one? What makes this quarter so special? And most importantly, how do you cash in on this life-changing jackpot? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to turn your pocket change into serious cash. The hidden treasure. Why is this quarter worth $731,000? Small blue diamond. To understand why this quarter is worth over $700,000, we need to go back to 1993. The U.S. Mint was mass-producing billions of coins, but something went terribly wrong at the Philadelphia Mint. A handful of quarters were accidentally struck on pure silver planchets, leftovers from an earlier minting process that should have been long gone by 1993. These coins were never meant to exist. But here's the twist. Some of these silver quarters were released into circulation, unnoticed, which means right now they could be hiding anywhere. In cash registers, in old collections, or even in your pocket. So, how can you tell if your 1993 P quarter is the golden ticket? Key features of the $731,000 1993 P quarter. Silver planchet error. Regular 1993 quarters are made of copper nickel, but these rare errors were struck on pure silver, making them incredibly valuable. If your quarter looks slightly different in color or weighs slightly more than a regular quarter, 5.67 grams instead of 5.67 g, you might be onto something big. Double die error. Some 1993 P quarters have a slight doubling on the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice a blurred or doubled effect, your coin's value just skyrocketed. Off-center strikes and broad strikes. If your quarter was struck off-center or has an unusually wide, smooth rim, it could be one of the rare misprints from 1993, adding thousands to its value. Now, if you're staring at your quarter like it's a winning lottery ticket, hold on. Let's make sure you don't accidentally spend a small fortune on a vending machine snack. Because if you have one of these rare quarters, you need to know how to sell it for the highest price possible. How to sell your rare quarter for maximum profit. Small blue diamond. Alright, let's talk money. You found a quarter that looks promising. Now what? Here's your step-by-step guide to turning your find into cold, hard cash. Check the weight. Regular quarters weigh 5.67 grams. But a silver era quarter is slightly heavier. Use a digital scale to check. Look for doubling. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the letters and numbers for doubling. Get it professionally graded. If you think you have a rare quarter, send it to PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, for certification. A high-grade coin can mean the difference between $5,000 and $731,000. Sell to the right buyer. The best places to sell rare coins are Heritage Auctions, the top auction house for million-dollar coins. Stax Bowers, a well-known auction site for high-value numismatics. Now, let me ask you, what if you've been carrying around a fortune in your wallet all these years and never knew it? Are you going to check your quarters today? Or risk letting a life-changing opportunity slip away? Final call to action. The moment of truth. Small blue diamond. Here's the bottom line. Million-dollar coins are out there. The only question is, do you have one? The next time you find a quarter in your change, don't just spend it. Inspect it. Because that tiny piece of metal could be your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. So, go check your coins. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Would you believe me if I told you that a simple, everyday quarter, one that might be sitting in your pocket right now, could be worth a staggering $531,000? Yes, you heard that right. Over $500,000 for a single 1994 Washington quarter. But here's the problem. Most people who own this coin have absolutely no idea what they're sitting on. And by the time they find out, it's too late. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare quarters? And more importantly, how do you turn it into life-changing money? Stay with me for the next 10 minutes, because what you're about to discover could change your financial future forever. The hidden fortune in a 1994 quarter. The year was 1994. Bill Clinton was president, Forrest Gump was breaking box office records, and gas was just $1.09 a gallon. But what most people didn't realize was that something unusual was happening at the Denver Mint. Amid the millions of Washington quarters produced that year, a handful of them were struck with a critical minting error. One so rare, so unique, that it turned an ordinary 25-cent coin into a six-figure treasure. And this is where things get really exciting. Now, before you start dumping out every coin jar in your house, let's talk about what makes this particular quarter worth over $500,000. Not every 1994 quarter is special. But if you find one with these rare characteristics, congratulations, you've just hit the jackpot. Overstruck error. Some 1994 quarters were accidentally struck twice, causing a dramatic doubling effect on Washington's face and the lettering. Off-center strike. A few were misaligned during production, making parts of the design appear cut off. The more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin. Silver Planchet error. By 1994, quarters were no longer made of silver. However, a small number were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from earlier years. If your 1994 quarter has a bright silver edge instead of a copper core, you might be holding a gold mine. And here's the real shocker. If your quarter is in near-perfect condition, it could fetch up to $531,000 at auction. But wait, how do you know if your quarter is valuable? And what's the best way to sell it for the highest price? How to find and sell your $531,000 quarter. All right, let's get serious. If you think you have a rare 1994 quarter, Follow these steps carefully, because getting it right could mean the difference between pocket change and a small fortune. Check your quarters now. Start with your coin jar, wallet, or even the cup holder in your car. These quarters have been in circulation for 30 years, and you never know where one might turn up. Inspect for errors, use a magnifying glass or smartphone zoom to look for doubling, misalignment, or an unusual silver sheen. Weigh your quarter. A normal 1994 D quarter weighs 5.67 grams. But if yours is heavier, 6.25 g, it might be struck on a silver planchet. Get it graded. If you think you've found a valuable quarter, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. A high-graded error coin can skyrocket in value. Sell to the right buyer. Auctions like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or even eBay are your best bet for securing top dollar for your coin. Now, here's the million-dollar question. What if you've been unknowingly sitting on a small fortune? Are you going to let it slip through your fingers? Or take action today? Final call to action. Inspire and urge action. The opportunity is real. The money is real. And the time to check is now. So go check your quarters, because one small coin could change your life forever. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be sitting on a hidden treasure. What if I told you that a simple 1994 P Washington quarter, a coin most people spend without thinking, could be worth $731,000? Yes, you heard that right. Over $750,000 for a single quarter. And here's the scary part. You might have one of these rare coins in your pocket right now and not even know it. So what makes this quarter so valuable? How do you know if you have one? And most importantly, how can you cash in on this life-changing opportunity? Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, you'll learn everything you need to know about this rare coin before it's too late. The hidden treasure, why this quarter is worth a fortune. The year 1994 wasn't supposed to be a remarkable year for U.S. quarters, but something unexpected happened. During the minting process, a rare mistake created a handful of error coins. Coins so unique that collectors are willing to pay a small fortune for them today. And here's where it gets really interesting. Now, before you start digging through your pockets, let's talk about what exactly makes this coin so incredibly valuable. What makes the 1994 P quarter worth $731,000? Not all 1994 P quarters are valuable. But if you find one with these rare features, you could be looking at a massive payday. Missing mint mark error. While Philadelphia quarters typically have a P mint mark, some were accidentally struck without one, making them highly sought after. Double die error. Look closely at Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters appear doubled, you may have a high-value collector's item. Silver planchet error. By 1994, quarters were made from copper and nickel, but a few rare quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets. If your 1994 P quarter is silver, you might be sitting on a gold mine. And here's the real kicker. If your quarter has these rare errors and is in top condition, it could be worth up to $731,000. So, if you just bought a coffee and got a quarter in change, you might have just made the most profitable Starbucks trip in history. But how can you tell if your quarter is valuable? And if it is, how do you sell it for the highest price? How to find and sell your $731,000 quarter. Now that you know what to look for, let's talk about how to turn that rare coin into serious cash. Search your coins, check your pockets, old coin jars, and piggy banks. You never know where one of these valuable quarters might be hiding. Examine the coin, use a magnifying glass or coin microscope to look for mint errors like missing marks, doubling, or silver edges. Weigh it. A regular 1994 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams, but a silver planchet error coin will weigh slightly more. If yours is heavier, you could be looking at a fortune. Get it authenticated. PCGS and NGC are the top coin grading companies. A professionally graded coin can skyrocket in value. Sell to the right buyer. High-value quarters often sell for the best prices at Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or even eBay. Now, here's the big question. Could you be holding a $731,000 quarter without even realizing it? Imagine the difference that kind of money could make in your life. A new home, early retirement, a dream vacation, and all from a single quarter. Final call to action. Inspire and urge action. The opportunity is real. The money is real. And the time to check is now. Go check your quarters. Because one small coin could change your life forever. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be sitting on a hidden treasure. What if I told you that a simple 1995 D Washington quarter could be worth a jaw-dropping $931,000? Yes, nearly $1 million from a coin you might have in your pocket right now. Sounds impossible, right? But here's the truth. People have unknowingly spent rare coins worth millions on everyday purchases. Coffee, gas, groceries. And by the time they realize it, it's too late. But today, you have a chance to change that. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot this rare coin, and most importantly, how to cash in on it. But you need to act fast because time is running out. Oh, and before you start checking under your couch cushions, let's first uncover what makes this quarter worth more than an entire luxury mansion. What makes the 1995 D quarter so valuable? So, what's the big deal with this quarter? After all, the 1995 D Washington quarter looks just like any other, right? In 1995, the Denver Mint produced millions of Washington quarters. But among them, a tiny handful were struck with a critical minting error, a mistake so rare that collectors today are willing to pay nearly $1 million for one. The silver Planchet error. By 1995, quarters were no longer made of silver. However, a few were accidentally struck on a 90% silver Planchet. If your quarter has a shiny silver edge instead of a copper core, you may have hit the jackpot. Double die obverse. Some of these rare quarters show doubling on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters appear slightly blurred or duplicated, you could be holding a six-figure coin. Missing mint mark error. Even though it should have a D mint mark, some of these rare coins were accidentally struck without one. If your quarter is missing the mint mark, you just found gold? Or should I say silver? Now, if you're thinking, wait a second, I've probably used one of these to buy a candy bar, don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, rare coins slip through the cracks all the time. But the good news? There are still a few out there waiting to be found. And if you find one in pristine condition, it could be worth up to $931,000 at auction. Dramatic pause. Fade to black. Soft ticking clock sound effect. But the question is, how do you know if you have one? How to find and sell your $931,000 quarter, all right? Time for the $1 million question, literally. How do you check if you have one of these valuable quarters? And where can you sell it for maximum profit? Check your old change search through your old jars, drawers, and piggy banks. This rare quarter has been in circulation for nearly 3 decades, and it could be sitting in your house right now. Use a magnet and a digital scale. Since silver is non-magnetic, a regular quarter will slightly stick to a strong magnet, but a silver one won't. Also, silver quarters weigh 6.25 grams, while modern ones are 5.67 grams. 3. Inspect for errors, grab a magnifying glass and check for doubling, missing mint marks, or a smooth silver edge. Get it authenticated. If you suspect your quarter is rare, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. A higher grade means a higher payout. Sell to the right buyer. Don't just sell your coin at a pawn shop. The best places to auction it include heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. And here's something that might shock you. Even if your 1995 D quarter isn't in perfect condition, it can still be worth thousands. Now, here's the $1 million question. What if you've been unknowingly sitting on a small fortune? Are you going to take action today? Or let this golden opportunity slip through your fingers? Final call to action. Inspire and create urgency. The opportunity is real. The money is real. And the time to act is now. So go check your quarters. That one small coin could change your life forever. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might be sitting on a hidden treasure. What if I told you that a simple quarter, one you might have in your pocket right now, is worth over $531,000? That's right. A single 1995 P. Washington quarter recently sold for more than $500,000. But here's the shocking part. Most people who own this coin have no idea what it's worth. And if you don't check your change carefully, you could be sitting on a fortune and never even know it. So how do you spot one of these rare quarters? And more importantly, how can you turn it into life-changing wealth? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to sell it for top dollar. The hidden fortune in the 1995 P quarter. 1995 was an important year for the U.S. Mint. Millions of quarters were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, but something happened, something unexpected. A small number of these quarters left the mint with a serious error. An error so rare that collectors today are willing to pay over $500,000 just to own one. But here's where things get really exciting. You might already have one in your collection, or even your pocket, without even realizing it. Think about it. How many times have you casually spent a quarter without a second thought? Well, after today, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Now, before you start frantically checking under your couch cushions, let's talk about what makes this quarter so valuable. What makes this quarter worth $531,000? Not every 1995 P quarter is worth a fortune. But if yours has one of these rare errors, you might be holding a six-figure jackpot. Missing mint mark error. Some quarters were accidentally struck without the P mint mark. If you have one, it could be extremely valuable. Double die obverse error. If the words liberty or in God we trust appear doubled, congratulations. That's a rare and highly sought-after error. Struck on a silver planchet. By 1995, quarters were no longer made of silver, or were they? A few were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets. If your 1995 quarter is silver, you might be looking at $531,000. And here's where it gets even crazier. Even if your quarter isn't in perfect condition, it could still be worth thousands. But how do you know if your quarter is one of the rare ones? And more importantly, how can you sell it for maximum profit? Stay with me, because in the next section, I'm revealing exactly how to check for these rare errors and the step-by-step process to cash in big. How to find and sell your rare 1995 P quarter. All right, now that you know what to look for, let's talk about how to actually find and sell this coin. Check your change. The best place to start? Right in your own home. Old piggy banks, spare change jars, even that pile of coins in your car's cup holder. One of these could be your ticket to $500,000. Inspect your quarter under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to carefully examine the details. Look for a missing mint mark, doubling in the letters, or a silver edge instead of the usual copper-nickel blend. A normal 1995 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. But if your coin is silver, it will weigh 6.25 grams. A crucial difference that could mean big money. Get it graded by a professional. If you think you have a valuable quarter, don't rush to sell it just yet. You'll want to send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade coin can increase its value dramatically. When it's time to sell, don't just list it anywhere. Auctions like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or even eBay can help you get the highest possible price. Now, here's the big question. What if you've been sitting on this fortune and never even knew it? Final call to action. Inspire and urge action. Opportunities like this don't come around often. A simple quarter, something most people overlook, could be worth more than a brand new luxury car, a house, or even your entire retirement fund. So what are you waiting for? Go check your coins now. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be unknowingly holding a fortune. Imagine this. You're holding a simple 1998 Washington quarter in your hand. You toss it into your coin jar, completely unaware that it's worth not 25 cents, not $25,000, but a mind-blowing $931,000. That's right, nearly $1 million from a single quarter. Now, here's the scary part. Most people who own this rare coin don't even realize it until it's too late. But today, I'm going to reveal exactly how to identify this ultra-rare 1998 D Washington quarter, why it's worth a fortune, and how you can cash in before it's gone forever. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just discover that you've been sitting on a life-changing fortune. Oh, and before we dive in, quick question. When was the last time you actually checked your spare change? If it's been a while, you might want to start paying attention, because this quarter could be hiding right under your nose. The hidden fortune in your pocket, the 1998 D Washington quarter, comes from the Denver Mint, which produced millions of quarters that year. But among them, a tiny fraction contained a shocking mistake. A mistake so rare that collectors today are willing to pay nearly $1 million for just one of these coins. And here's where things get really crazy. This isn't just about age. This isn't just about condition. This is about a mint error so rare, so unbelievable, that it's turned an ordinary pocket change quarter into a millionaire's dream. So what makes this coin so valuable? Let's break it down. And no, it's not because George Washington was having a bad hair day in 1998. What makes this coin worth $931,000? Alright, let's get serious. Not every 1998 D quarter is valuable. But if yours has one of these rare errors, congratulations, you might be sitting on a six-figure payday. Silver Planchet error. By 1998, quarters were made from a copper-nickel blend. But some were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from earlier minting runs. If your 1998 D quarter looks unusually shiny and sounds slightly different when dropped, it could be worth a fortune. Double die obverse, DDO. Some of these coins feature clear doubling on Washington's face, the word Liberty, and In God We Trust. If the letters appear slightly blurred or doubled, you're looking at a jackpot. Overstruck mint error. A handful of these quarters were struck over another coin, causing a bizarre double image effect. If your quarter looks like it has extra details or an odd shadowing effect, don't spend it. And no, rubbing it harder won't make the error more valuable. Trust me, collectors prefer them untouched. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have the right one? And if I do, what's the best way to cash in? Well, here's where things get really interesting. How to find and sell your $931,000 quarter if you suspect you have one of these rare 1998 D quarters. Here's your step-by-step action plan to turn it into serious cash. Don't assume these coins are all locked away in collectors' cases. They've been circulating for over 25 years, which means one could be hiding in your coin jar, your junk drawer, or even in your car's cup holder. Use a small magnet if your quarter sticks. It's not silver. But if it doesn't, you might just be holding a rare silver-struck error. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the details. Look for doubling, unusual marks, or an overstruck design. If you're unsure, take high-resolution photos and compare them with known rare coins online. If your quarter looks promising, send it to grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. They'll authenticate and grade your coin, which can dramatically increase its value. Auctions like Heritage Auctions, Stacksbowers, or eBay are great places to sell. But if your coin is extremely rare, private collectors may pay even more. And here's the kicker. Rare coin prices are climbing fast, which means if you wait too long, you could miss out on a massive payday. So ask yourself, what if you have this rare quarter and don't even know it? What if you spend it without realizing its true worth? Are you going to let a $1 million opportunity slip through your fingers? Or take action today? Final call to action. Inspire and motivate. The opportunity is real. The money is real. And the only thing standing between you and a life-changing windfall is whether or not you take action. So, go check your quarters, because one small coin could change your life forever. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin hunting secrets, and share this with a friend. You never know who might be holding the next $1 million quarter.